doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so I know this is late, but I got a good excuse. I was at Dragon Con, and I had a blast. Shout out to everybody that I got to hang out with while I was there. I had a ball. That being said, let's wrap up the summer of 8-Bit 2.0, shall we? Okay, so today's game is arguably the most important video game released in the 8-bit console generation. It's honestly one of the most important video games ever released on a home console because it essentially saved the home console market back at a time where things were starting to kind of even out after the crash, and people were kind of nervous about investing in a game console because Atari was making more games than they had consoles and stuff like that. And so enter Nintendo, who had been working with, they had initially been working with Atari to release the US version of their family computer through them in a licensing deal. But Atari, for whatever reason, didn't see the point in working with Nintendo. And it proved to actually be one of the things that eventually killed off Atari. So after that happens, Nintendo needs a title to kind of spring forward the launch of their console. They initially released it with Gyromite, which was Gyromite and the Robot Operating Buddy, which was cool, but they wanted something more immersive, something that would really sell the console. Enter Shigeru Miyamoto, father of Donkey Kong, who took a little plumber, well, at that point a carpenter by the name of Jumpman, changed his name to Mario for US consumption, and had slowly started the ball rolling on making Mario a household name. But needed one other element to put Mario over the top, and that was a game that wasn't recognizable specifically in the arcades, and taking the core fundamentals of Mario's first solo adventure, Mario Brothers, well, his first starring role, Mario Brothers, along with his brother Luigi, and fleshing it out. And this game took that experience, expanded it 100-fold, and we have arguably the most important video game ever made. Now, I know this is the double cart, the double game pack, but we're only going to talk about the one title today. So, ladies and gentlemen, closing out the summer of 8-bit from 1985, Super Mario Brothers. Alright, so Super Mario Brothers starred Mario and Luigi, who were sucked down this drain pipe into the Mushroom Kingdom, where Princess Toadstool was kidnapped by Bowser, the Wizard King of the Koopa Clan. And it was up to Mario and Luigi to rescue the princess from Bowser. Now, keep in mind, this was the first title in the Mario series, so there were some things about the story that may not seem familiar to some gamers now. For instance, the Goombas, the little brown mushroom guys that walk back and forth, the first enemy you see in the game. They are actually citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom that were put under a spell by Bowser. The Koopa Troopers, Koopa Paratroopers, all those characters. Actually, the Koopa Paratroopers were a bit of a holdover from Mario Brothers from the old arcade game from '83. Mario Brothers, by and large, it took that single screen platforming that was fine-tuned in Mario Brothers and in Donkey Kong, and expanded it so much so that this was an experience that you hadn't seen outside of, say, Pitfall. But it took the mechanics from Pitfall and expanded them graphically, aurally, graphically, control-wise, as far as story. It fleshed all of that stuff out and turned it into an experience that most gamers had never even imagined at that point. And because of that, here's some almost 30 years later, the first Super Mario Brothers game is still regarded by many as being the greatest video game of all time. More so than Pitfall, Node Runner, Zork, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Vanguard, Defender, Asteroids, Space War, any of those titles. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers, is garnered as the greatest video game of all time. And because of that, while there is talk nowadays of the Wii U being a flop and this being Nintendo's last console and all these other things, as long as Shigeru Miyamoto is a part of Nintendo and he has his hands in the creation process and he has things like Super Mario Brothers in his back pocket and Legend of Zelda and Donkey Kong, as long as those ideas like those are in his head, you can never count Nintendo out. They always have a trick up their sleeve. This has been 8-Bit Animal. Hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it, just like I did last year. I'll catch you beautiful people next time.